Welcome to Parlay TV.
Plenty of things look easy at first. Skydiving, lion taming. From the comfort of your armchair, all sorts of risks look easy as
Cristiano Ronaldo, Diogo Jota, and Bruno Fernandes literally
blew Russia off the park in a clinical display of attacking football.
Wow.
Sorry, what did you say, Kobe?
Wow, bro.
Let's break it down.
I am Pat Mayo, and I'm here to give you the best pick at the top of the board. The best bet, if you will.
So I'm going to go with just under 25 for Middleton here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gambling on Hockey on the Parlay Network, Canada's sports betting network. I am your host, still Celine Trimarchi, alongside my co-host, Luca Rosano. Luca, we did good last night. We went 4 for 4. How happy are you?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was an incredible day of NHL betting. I think I went 3 for 4, though, because we had the one difference. That's right.
What was the one difference? I forgot.
I think we went 3 for 4, Celine. I think that might be. Let me see. I'm looking at the games right here. Yeah, Predators 6-3, Avalanche 3-2, Wild 3-0. Oh, the Bruins Canadiens. So who did you have in that one? We had the Bruins, right?
We had the Bruins, yeah.
Yeah, so they only won by. They have to win by 2. Remember, minus 1.5. They have to win by 2.
You're
so we went 3 for 4. So I had to spoil the parade for you. Yeah. So if they win by 1, you don't win. They got to win by at least 2 goals. So that counts as a loss for us. So yeah, we actually went 3 of 4.
Wow, I'm sad. I saw they won and I was like, yeah, you won it. But yeah, I guess not. It's okay. Today's a new day. We have 10 games in the NHL. I believe 10. There's so many. 11, actually. There's 11 games going on in the NHL tonight. Yeah, it's a packed night. So hopefully we can at least get maybe 6 for 11. That would be lovely. So let's just start off right into it because this is going to be quite a long show. So the Rangers seek their 9th straight series win over the New Jersey Devils as they travel to New Jersey. Luca, who are you taking in this one? New York Rangers are the favorite here.
Yeah, and rightfully so. New Jersey's been struggling. They haven't been great. I'm going to go with the Rangers here. I think this is going to be a fantastic showdown between these two teams. The Rangers, they've actually won their last 8 battles against New Jersey, so they have dominated the series dating back to last March. And New Jersey struggles in the defensive area, and I think that's an area where the Rangers have improved. They got the offensive talent, and they are heavily favored here for a reason. So, yeah, I am confident the Rangers will win this game by at least 2 goals. So I will go with the Rangers. There's going to be an interesting crowd tonight, a mixed crowd, if you will. A lot of Rangers fans are obviously going to make the trip. So, yeah, it's going to be not your typical home ice advantage for New Jersey. So, yeah, give me the Rangers minus 1.5.
It's funny. Out of all the games tonight, they are the only away team that are the favorite. Everyone else is the home team. They are the favorite. So that's really interesting. But I'm going to take the New York Rangers as well on this one. I mean, like you just said, they won. It's 8-0 for their last 8 matchups between the New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils. So, I mean, if that's not a stat that you really want to bet on, then I don't know what I can really tell you there. And the New Jersey Devils, I mean, their next 3 games are they're playing playoff contender teams. There's the Rangers going on tonight, and then Toronto, and then Washington. So they have a hard next few games ahead of them, and they're coming off of 3 straight losses. I mean, a 6-3 string of losses. Actually, all 3 games were lost 6-3 on their Western swing, and they allowed 18 of 40 shots in the third. So I mean, playing against the New York Rangers, I feel like the Rangers' offensive power is really gonna kick the knot into the New Jersey Devils, and they're going to come out with the win here. Next game, Pittsburgh and Columbus. So Pittsburgh hosts CBJ, Columbus Blue Jackets, tonight. Pittsburgh is the favorite here. If you're putting money down on this game, who are you taking?
Yeah, I think it's hard not to take the Penguins here. They've won 4 of their last 5 games and 3 of their last 4 games at home. They've been rolling offensively, scoring 3 or more goals in 4 of their last 5 games. The Blue Jackets, however, though they are playing well, but they have lost 3 of their last 4 road games, and they're struggling defensively. They've given up actually 14 goals over the last 4 road games, which is not the type of number you want to see, especially against such a talented Pens team at home. So the Pens, Alternatively, are really good defensively. They gave up 11 goals in their last 5 games. So I expect this game to be a game where the Blue Jackets struggle offensively and they won't be able to keep up with the Penguins in that respect. So yeah, give me the Pens -1.5.
I feel like this is going to be a game too against the goalies. Because in net for Columbus, we have Jonas Corpizalo, who is an 878 save percentage. And then we have Tristan Jarry for Pittsburgh, who's at 922 his save percentage. So I feel like Pittsburgh's going to pull away with the win here tonight. And plus, Pittsburgh, in my opinion, has more offensive power than Columbus. So they're going to be able to put pucks deep in the net behind Corpizalo. So I'm taking Pittsburgh as the favorite as well. So the Blues, they look to bounce back in Washington after dropping their last 3. So this is going to be quite a fun matchup. If you had to put money down on this game, are you taking St. Louis or are you going to take Washington?
It's hard to bet against the Capitals right now. They've been playing really well. They've been a great cash in terms of like an underdog bet. Like it seems like this team's been +1.5 the last couple times we covered them, but now they're the favorites at home. For as well as they're playing, though, I'm actually going to side with the Blues here. They've been a strange team. This is a team that rises to the occasion when they play good teams, and then they struggle against lesser teams. So that's a classic case of, playing to your competition. And you look at the Capitals, for as good as they've been kind of the road warriors of the season. They've actually struggled at home, only winning just 3 times in their last 10 games at Capital One Arena. So I think this is going to be a very close game. So I'm going to go with the Blues here +1.5. I think they'll have a chance to win or at the very least lose by at least 1.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with St. Louis here as well. I mean, yes, today they're without Vladimir Tarasenko due to an illness, and he's been a really solid player for the team. 20 goals, 34 assists, 54 points. And they are also without Robert Thompson, who is suffering an upper body injury, and he has 48 points on the season. But I mean, even with those 2 players out, you still have a solid lineup for us, the St. Louis Blues. I mean, there's David Perron, who has 10 points in his last 5 games, and 8 of them have been goals. And also Jordan Kyrou, who's also been unstoppable to 60 points. He's the team leader for the Blues when it comes to points. And the last meeting between St. Louis and Washington, St. Louis beat Washington 5-1. So if I'm putting my money down on this game, I'm going to take St. Louis, but I'm also going to take them on the over. The over is 6, and I feel like Washington can still come up strong against St. Louis and get pucks deep too. So I'm going to take St. Louis, but I'm also going to take the over on that one as well. The Hurricanes, they're on their season worst 4-game slide, and they look to break it against Tampa Bay. So who are you taking in this game?
I mean, we're getting 1.5 goals. I feel like you have to take Tampa in this spot. They're a really good team. You're getting some breathing room here. As you mentioned, the Hurricanes coming in on a bit of a slide. And also Tampa Bay, they've been a great road team. 6-1 in the past 7 meetings between these 2 teams is the road team. And then 6 of their last 9 meetings have been decided by 1 goal. So that tells me this is going to be a very tight game. Both these teams are very good. So yeah, I'm going to go with Tampa. I think there's a lot of value here that you are getting that 1.5 goals, and they are coming in as an underdog against a struggling team right now.
Yeah, and Carolina is definitely struggling. I mean, they dropped their last 2 meetings at home against 2 solid teams, Washington and the Rangers. I think Tampa certainly has the advantage heading into tonight's game, and they also have 10 plus 30-point holders. So they are a solid team, and I feel like they're going to come out strong with the win tonight. So I'm taking Tampa as well. Philly. Will finally get to play Detroit after their last meeting got postponed. And tonight, they're also without their captain again for the 2nd time after he got traded to the Florida Panthers. So if you're putting money down on this game, we sticking with Detroit because oddly enough, Detroit's the favorite here for some reason, which kind of shocked me on that one. So are you going to stick with Detroit or are you going to go with the underdog who I believe should be the favorite?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Detroit. I agree with this line just because Philly is struggling right now. Like they are, they have not been playing well. They rank 31st in goals against per game. They're 17th in shots per game, 24th in goals per game. So this is a team that's not been playing up to par, and they just traded away one of their best players, like you mentioned, Claude Giroux, going to the Florida Panthers. Big get for the Panthers as they rev up for the playoffs. So I'm actually going to lay the points here with Detroit on the puck line. You look at Detroit, they have the offensive talent, the young talent that could go off at any time. You look at Dylan Larkin, he leads the Wings with 59 points. Lucas Raymond's in second in points, third in goals, and tied for second in assists among all rookies in the league. So I think, it's weird to see Detroit favorite here, but I think they could come away with a nice spot against a Philly team that's kind of going the other way right now. So yeah, I like the Red Wings actually -1.5 to win this game by at least 2 goals.
You know what? I'm going to put my money down on Philadelphia for this game here. I mean, I feel like without Claude Giroux, the team knows they need to step it up. And last night they did end up winning their game, I believe, on Monday. And Owen Tippett, he almost got a goal on his first game with the Philadelphia Flyers. And he was obviously within that trade from Florida to Philadelphia. And Philly starts their 5-game road trip. So I believe that Philly's going to come up strong with this just because that presence on the ice is no longer there. They just all know they need to really step it up. And Detroit's last game against Seattle, 4-2 loss, and Seattle outshot them 16-6 in the first period, and they allowed 4 third period goals against Seattle. So I don't know if I would take Detroit on this one, but I mean, tweet your own. If that's who you want to pick, that's who you pick. But for me, I'm taking the Philadelphia Flyers. Next game, the Ottawa Senators are traveling to New York to take on the Islanders. Ottawa, obviously not in a playoff spot at all. Who are you taking on this one? Are you going to stick with the Isles, or are you going to go with the Senators on this one? The Isles are the favorite here.
Yeah, it might be a bit of a surprise pick for me, but I'm actually going to go with the underdog here with the Sens +1.5. Here's the reason why. I think the Islanders are going to have a little bit of a fatigue factor here, and Ottawa could catch them napping. They've played 4 games in 6 nights, and they were worn down in Sunday's loss to the Flyers. So I think this is going to be a tough spot for them. And I feel like, the Senators could play a more defensive style game here. So, yeah, I expect a close game in this one. And I could see the Senators having a chance to win this. So this would be like my hot take, upset pick of the night. Yeah, the Isles are obviously significant favorites and rightfully so. But, yeah, give me the Sens in the spot. I'm going with the Canadian team. Even though they're 22-35-3, they could stun the Isles, who will be at home here.
It's okay. This really reminds me of your pick when you, I think it was you chose the Arizona Coyotes over the Colorado Avalanche, but they did end up winning, if I'm not mistaken. So that was an interesting night. But for this game, I'm going to stick with the New York Islanders. I mean, I'm going to take another favorite again. They're only 19 points. 19 sounds like a lot behind Washington for a wild card spot. But I mean, I feel like this is the time when they know they really got to step it up. And they're 6-2-1 in their last 9 games. So they're getting back on track. So if I had to put my money down on this game, I'm just going to take the Isles because I know Ottawa, there's no chance they're making it. But I mean, they could still put up a good game tonight. But I feel like their issue is more so they know they kind of need to start their rebuild. So I'm putting down my money for the New York Islanders. Vegas. Okay, so Vegas clearly taking the heat from their injured roster after they suffered a 3-0 loss to Minnesota. Tonight they're in Winnipeg, another solid team. Who are you taking tonight? The Vegas Golden Knights, or are you going to take the Winnipeg Jets?
Yeah, this time I'm going with the favorite. I think this is going to be all Winnipeg tonight. I like them in this spot. I think Vegas, they're on the back end of a road game. So like they've been playing consecutive games on the road. There's going to be a fatigue factor there. Also, the Jets have been playing well offensively lately. So that's really good to see. They've scored 3 or more goals in 6 of their last 10 games. Kyle Connor leads the team with 77 points on the season, and he scored 1 goal in 7 of his last 9 games. So looking for player props here, expect Kyle Connor to rack up some points. And the Golden Knights, I mean, they've struggled on the road lately, 0-6 in their last 6 road games. So it's not going to be an easy time here in Winnipeg as they got to go all the way back to Canada to play this Jets team. So yeah, give me the Jets -1.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jets as well. I mean, they're 6-3-1 in their last 10, and they just beat the Chicago Blackhawks in a dominant 6-4 win. In Vegas, completely injured. 0-for-6 game road losing streak. So it's a rough time to be a Vegas Golden Knights fan. After I'm pretty sure everybody thought that this year they would gun it again for the playoffs, but it's kind of shaky. So, and a lot of the injured players on that team, they're not going to be back even in time for playoffs. Only like a couple of them I've been reading might come back. A lot of them are going to be out for like a while, longer than a month. So it's going to be hard for the Vegas Golden Knights to get back on track. And they've been outscored at 26-11 during that 6-game losing streak. And their last game against Winnipeg, they lost 7-3. So I'm taking, that was a big loss. So I'm going to take a Winnipeg on this one. I feel like they're going to come out strong in this game, and I'm going to take them as the favorite. So Edmonton, they're looking to carry their hot streak into Dallas. Are they going to come up strong, or are they going to fall flat on their face? Luca, who are you taking?
I got to go with the Oilers here. I mean, you're getting great value. They are the underdog. I feel like you have to take them, especially on this run that they've been on. They have a per-game scoring differential of 0.26, and even when they're playing on the road, they're winning games by an average margin of 0.29 goals. So heading into this game, Oilers have won their last 5 games. They're playing great hockey right now, and during that stretch, they scored 27 goals. So this is a team that can fill it up. And, you look at Dallas here, they're a great team, obviously, but they're going to be challenged here a bit. And, I like Edmonton to pull off actually the road win here in Dallas. You're getting great value. So yeah, I like Edmonton to show up here against a Stars team, that will be a little bit humble tonight. So yeah, give me Edmonton.
Yeah, I'm taking Edmonton as well. Dallas, they just haven't really been, or they haven't shown to me to be consistent, and they haven't even won back-to-back games since the beginning of March. So it's been a few weeks where they haven't been able to pull that off. And Edmonton has been fairly strong. I mean, they're 12-5-2 since Jay Woodcroft took over, and they're third in the Pacific with 75 points. So this is the time when they know they got to keep up with the wins so they can get it higher for a higher position in the playoffs. Next team. Well, we're coming down to the wire here. There's only 2 more games left that we got to cover. Seattle and Arizona. Now, they're tied for fewest points in the NHL Western Conference, and they will face off tonight. Obviously, Seattle's going to be without their captain, Mark Giordano, because, Toronto took him. So, Luca, who are you taking tonight, Seattle or Arizona?
So I'm actually going to go with Arizona. This is going to be a stinker of a game. I advise people not to bet on this one because you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, this is one where I personally would not bet on, just because, like, whenever you have 2 bad teams going head to head, you never know what's going to happen. But I'm going to go with Zona because they're 2-0 so far against this team. They won 5-4 in early November, and then they followed that up with a 5-2 victory on February 9th. So Seattle, they are going to be coming in fresh, which I am afraid of. But, I mean, they're tied for the fewest road wins in the NHL with 8. That is terrible. And Arizona, though, is tied for the fewest wins at home in the league at 9. So pick your poison in this matchup. I'm just going to go with Arizona because I feel like the Kraken are far worse than they are right now, and that's saying something. So, yeah, give me Arizona -1.5.
Luca, you just missed the biggest pun you could have said. The Kraken are just cracking. That's it.
I leave the punch for you. I'm not that witty, you know?
I know. I'm so annoying like that, but it's so fun. Yeah, you know what? Out of all the games, this game I didn't even want to touch on. I was just like, I don't even want to bet on this game either. Because like you were saying, it could go both ways. Like, you don't necessarily know who's going to win here. But if I were to bet on it, I would just take Arizona as well. I feel like they have the advantage over Seattle. And I really do believe that because they lost their captain, Mark Giordano, it's really going to take a hit for the team. Because, I mean, when any team loses their captain, just like the Philadelphia Flyers, although they've been playing well since they lost Claude Giroux, but I feel like Seattle's going to take a beating to this, and they're in the spot where they need to figure out their team as well. So I'm going to take the Arizona Coyotes on this one. And the last game, the high-scoring Predators take on the injured LA Kings, another team that's riddled with injuries. So if you're going to bet on this game, are you taking Nashville or LA? It should be noted that LA is the favorite here, which that kind of shocked me as well, Luca.
Yeah, it did. And I think there's actually one more game after this we got to get to, Sharks and Flames. But we'll first get into this one. So Predators are underdogs here. So yeah, I'm going to take the Preds. I'm going to take the points in this matchup. They actually beat the Kings in both matchups this season, 1 at home and 1 on the road. And they're 5-1 in their last 6 games when facing them in LA. And Nashville is also 4-1 in their past 5 games overall, 4-1 in their past 5 games against a winning team. And they are 5-1 in their past 6 outings against Western Conference opponents. So they have all the numbers backing them up in this one. And then I got one more number for you, or stat: 17-7 in the past 24 following a victory. So you're getting points. You got a Preds team coming in hot. I'm gonna ride with that. Give me the Preds plus 1.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the Predators as well on this one. I mean, safe to say, Nashville's healthy and they're on a hot streak, and LA is clearly not. I mean, they're riddled with injuries. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 players that are injured with the LA Kings. So if you want to take LA, I mean, that's all up to you. But if you want to stick it safe, take the Nashville Predators. I mean, LA, they're 2-3-1 in their last 6. Not a promising record you want to bet on. And Nashville, they won 4 of their last 5. I mean, in their last game, 6-3 road win over Anaheim. And Roman Josi and Duchesne been unstoppable. I mean, 10-game point streak. And that also is one of the longest streaks in franchise history, because they have 4 goals in 7 consecutive games. So that's a really big thing there. So I'm going to take Nashville on this one. And yes, I missed that game. How did I miss it? San Jose Sharks and the Calgary Flames. I mean, I guess that's a game that I don't care about, but it's okay. So Flames welcome the Sharks. If you're going to put money down on this game, who are you taking? Calgary's the favorite here, or are you going to take San Jose?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the favorite. I think this will be a game that you don't have second thoughts about. Calgary, they've been dominant at home. They've lost just 5 times at home this season, which is crazy. Although one of those losses did come against the Sharks team. Markstrom will likely be in net, and he did have a rare off night against the Sharks, 4-1, in his only meeting with San Jose this season. So I like the redemption factor. I think he'll be much better between the pipes. And you look at Calgary, they should be able to exploit the Sharks' tendency to end up in the penalty box. So I expect Calgary to capitalize and get some power play goals. The Flames are also 11th in the NHL in power play percentage, and I think they're going to apply pressure in those situations. So I like the Flames to come away with the win here of at least 2 goals or more. I think their stingy defense is also going to give the Sharks a ton of problems. So yeah, I'm going to go with one of the best home teams, if not the very best home team in all of the NHL, Calgary Flames, minus 1.5 against the Sharks.
I'm going to take Calgary as well on this one, despite this stat, which I thought was pretty wild. I mean, their last 14 matchups between the San Jose Sharks and Calgary, San Jose is 11-3.
Wow,
yeah.
that's a good stat.
Yeah. So, I mean, looking at that, if trends continue that way and San Jose ends up pulling away with the win, I guess we have to just keep betting on that stat there. But I feel like tonight's game is going to go in favor for Calgary. I mean, Calgary begins a 6-game homestand, and like you were saying, they lead the league with wins. So I feel like it shouldn't be a problem for Calgary to come out big with the win here tonight. And also Jacob Markstrom, he's been, yes, he had a rocky game, but he's been on like pretty unstoppable. I mean, he's still holding a solid save percentage at .928, and he suffered 1 regulation loss over the last 17. So if I was to put money on this game, I'm going to take the Calgary Flames as well. Now I believe we covered all the games. So we went from games that start at 7 p.m. all the way down to the last game that starts at 10:30 p.m. But that is it for us today on Gambling on Hockey on the Parlay Network. I am your host, Celine Trimarchi, alongside my co-host, Luca Rosano. Catch us here tomorrow. We'll give an update on our picks and see if we won, and we'll give you our insight into the next batch of games for tomorrow night. Thanks for watching, guys.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to 3-Point Lines here on the Parlay. I'm your host, Luca Rosano, alongside my co-host, Noor Zainab, and we are back on this 4-game NBA night to break down and give you our picks against the spread for 4 matchups in the NBA. It's a quiet night after the night that was on Monday, and boy, oh boy, did I ever get killed with my picks. I dropped a percentage because of it. I was a terrible 2 of 9. I am now at 54%. I think you might have done better than me, Nor, but all in all, it was a very, very forgettable night.
I don't know how, but somehow we both broke even. I also finished a disgusting 2 of 9 last night. I have no words, just absolutely no words. I don't even know why I'm employed here today this morning. Like the Wizards lost, Heat lost, Cavaliers lost, Raptors lost, Pelicans did not cover. Boston didn't even cover, even though they were leading by 20 points all game. And of course, at the very last minute, well, we say that all the time here, where like we see big spreads, but you can never trust it because you just don't know. Like the team could be blowing someone else out, but towards the very end, they're like, hey, let's take that foot off the gas pedal. You won the game. And that's exactly what happened with Boston because they were like, hey, we're up 20 points all game. Screw it. Let's just win this by 10. And then they cost me my parlay. So thanks a lot on that. And I only had 2 correct ones last night where it was the Blazers and Nets, but you got the win over our showdown in the Mavericks and Timberwolves. I got to give you props on that, even though it's about to kill me to do that.
Yeah, one of my 2 wins, but yeah, kudos to you. That Nets pick, I'm never going against KD ever again. He had a great night. What did he finish with? I think 37. He had a great stat line, and that was a big win over the Jazz. And then, yeah, I was a homer. I picked the Raptors. They look lifeless on the second night of a back-to-back. I should have known better. The Bulls winning that game and officially clinching the tiebreak over the Raptors. So that's going to be huge now for the Bulls. And then, yeah, the Mavericks beat the Timberwolves, like you said, but that was a barely cover. I mean, it was technically a push. They just won by 2, but we do consider pushes as wins here on the parlay. So just throwing that out there. And the biggest surprise of the night for me, and I want to touch on it here, is, the Sixers beating the best team in the East record-wise, the Miami Heat. Like, make that make sense to me where the Raptors beat the 76ers with Embiid and Harden, and then the Sixers beat the Heat without Embiid and Harden. This tells me there's complete parity in the East and in all of the NBA, and this is going to be one of the most bizarre postseasons in recent memory. I mean, you don't know what the heck's going to happen now. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets right now are the 8th seed, and they look like the most dangerous team, a team that nobody wants to play in the playoffs, and the Celtics have been killing it. You still got to put some respect on the Raptors' name. So, yeah, this Eastern Conference playoff picture, crapshoot right now.
I have no words, Luca. When I saw that, I was like, how do you do that without Embiid, without Harden? But on the other side, Heat are pretty much predominantly healthy. The only guys they were missing were Oladipo and Gabe Vincent. But, like, it's not going to be, your game winner if you're going to have Gabe Vincent or Oladipo on the lineup. But they still had Butler. They had Lowry. They had Hero. They've got Duncan, Bam Adebayo. The whole roster, the whole gang was there. But Maxey was the one who stole the show between everybody, scoring a game-high 28 points. And that just tells you, I thought, honestly, I was like, obviously Maxey's going off. You put Harden and Embiid. Hello? Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Did I come back? Okay, sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
there we
you're
go.
back. You're back.
I'm here. I apologize for any internet mistakes today. This is just the hand that I've been dealt with, and this is the best I can do. I'm no IT expert. I'm doing the best I can. But as I was saying, I think with Maxey there, with Embiid and Harden, I just thought that, of course, Maxey would be going off because if you add Embiid, you add Harden, you're going to have bodies attacking them both. So it leaves Maxey wide open. For him to do that without having anyone else to distract him from, or without having, or being actually the only guy on the floor who can go and get his own shot for that Philly team, that was crazy. That was nuts. I have no words. When I think I know what the league's going to look like, I get told, no, you don't. Humble yourself. You have no idea what you're talking about. And that's exactly what happened with Philly and Miami last night.
Yeah, there's just a lot of parity right now. I mean, a lot of the lower seeds could be dangerous. So many of them. And even on the Western Conference side, got the Timberwolves killing it. I mean, the Lakers got a nice win over the Cavaliers. If they get in, people are going to start going on and on about how LeBron can make an improbable run. So it's definitely been fun in the NBA. And like I said, we got 4 games tonight. We're going to get into them before Noor's connection fails on us. So we're going to hurry it up here. And we're going to start with the first game of the night. Is this a trap game waiting to happen? Warriors, 7.5-point favorites, minus Steph, taking on Orlando.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? I have no idea. It really could be this. At one side, you can tell it's going to be the easiest money you can make today, but on the other side, you can give credit to someone like Orlando because the Warriors have been a little bit shaky and inconsistent here and there, and they will be without Curry tonight, Iggy, Wiggins, and Wiseman, and Moses Moody is currently questionable, but I'm going to take that as he is going to play. But even with him, without him, I think the Warriors have enough firepower to just completely overtake Orlando. They've got Clay, Dre's there, and Jordan Poole is more than capable of stepping up and helping the team out offensively in Curry's absence. So let's not forget who they're facing in this matchup either. It's the Magic. They're dead last in the East, and they have the 5th worst perimeter defense against this Warriors team that we all know how much they love that 3-point line. So looking at it, I just don't think it's going to play out well. The Warriors have lost their last 2, and they're going to head into this postseason knowing they've secured the spot. And they're playing with experience. They've been through this rodeo before many, many times, but they lost to the Spurs and Celtics recently. So I think they know that they got to win this one handsomely to not just shut up any doubters, but to go into the postseason feeling pretty confident about who you are and your team. So I'm going to give the edge to Warriors here. I think they also have the defense to limit any Magic opportunities that would hopefully give them the edge to win this by more than 8 points. So let's see how they just do this without Curry, but I'm going to go with the Warriors. What about you?
I am still so traumatized over last night and laying numbers and laying spreads that I'm actually going to start the show with a bizarre pick. I'm going with Orlando. Yes, call me crazy. I'm taking the points with the Magic. This is a team that they've actually been respectable against the spread over the last 2 months, 13-12 overall. And they've actually been really competitive recently against playoff caliber teams. I'm talking about the Sixers, the Timberwolves, and the Suns. Remember, they covered against the Suns in a similar spot where they were at home. There's no Curry, and this Warriors team has not fared well without him, pardon me. So, I just don't trust them as a 7.5-point favorite in this spot. They're 3-10-1, the Warriors are in their last 14 games as a favorite. So I'm actually going to go with the Magic with the points here. I still think the Warriors win, but I can see a similar thing happen with the Warriors and Magic that happened with the Magic and Suns, where it will just be a late game type of cover versus a blowout. So give me the Magic at home. I'm gonna hope they don't look completely lifeless here over the Dubs.
You know you've been scarred when. I think the NBA is the only league in the world where you can look at a very definitive, clear favorite and still be like, I don't know. I still feel like I can go the other way. And honestly, I can see that happening for the Magic too, because as you mentioned, that covering the spread against those teams, those best teams, that says something about you. Or it says that the other teams play down to your level, which is, again, doesn't make well for a spread, right? But another game we have tonight in the Eastern Conference, it's got to be the Atlanta Hawks taking on the New York Knicks. Pretty small spread here at -3, favoring the Hawks. Are you going to lay it?
Yeah, this is a disappointing matchup. A lot of people expected this matchup at this time of year to mean a lot more than it will now. Both these teams have had very disappointing seasons, more so than Knicks. I mean, they're looking like they're going to be completely out of this thing. However, I might be going with another of a shocker pick here for the second straight game. I'm going to go with the Knicks. I'm going to take the +3. I think the Knicks will show up here. I know Atlanta offensively can dominate this game with Trey carrying the load, but I just don't trust this Hawks team. They're so inconsistent. When you think they're going to come through against a bottom-feeding team or a team that they should beat, they struggle. And I'm looking forward to that Trae Young versus MSG crowd. I just took that in right now. Yeah, Trae Young going to be going back to MSG. Those fans are going to let him hear a yearful. And I like the Knicks to get a little bit of revenge here from losing that series against the Hawks last postseason. The Knicks still have pride. They're going to play hard. I think they're going to show up here. And overall, they have been a pretty safe bet against the spread. So the Knicks should be able to score in this one. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Trae Young comes in a bit banged up as well. I would not be surprised if the Knicks steal one here. So I will go with the Knicks +3.
I can see why you'd go that way because I think this matchup depends on which version of which team we're going to get tonight. They're both wildly inconsistent, but they also can be wildly good. So we have no idea what's going to happen. But on the spread for tonight, Hawks haven't had much luck against the Knicks this season. Not quite sure why. So tonight will be a big question mark for them. They've failed to cover in their last 7 games as a favorite, and they've also failed to cover in their last 6 games against losing teams. So they are a little comfortable where they are seeding wise right now in the playoffs because they are going to make the play-in and go for that round where the Knicks kind of have to make their last push. And every single game counts for them right now. But I'm actually going to go with the Hawks here. And that's mainly because Randall has been listed out for this one. And I think he's a big chunk of their offense. He was having bursts of 30-point games. And I do think they still have some offense left. And obviously Barrett and Quincy and Fournier. But I just don't know if it's enough against this Hawks team that also just loves to light it up. If Trey's playing, he can give you 30 and 40 points easy any given night. And their roster is constructed to take high volume shots. And when that's the case, going up against 2 bad defenses and that team that just rely on their offense, I'm going to give the edge to the Hawks team here, who is a little bit more healthy than the Knicks. So give me the Hawks.
All right, so we disagree with our first 2 picks here. This is shaping up to be an interesting show. The next game, we got Bulls and Bucks. Bucks 7-point favorites. Bulls coming in on the second night of a back-to-back. What do you see happening here?
Okay, Luca, this is the game I think the Bulls, they've got to show up. I know they played last night. I know they beat the Raptors pretty badly, but they are currently 0-15 against the top 3 teams in each conference. And you need to start killing the narrative tonight if you want a confident playoff debut. But I don't think they will. Giannis will be suiting up for this one. And with Caruso back, he is trying to anchor their defense to be better, but I just don't think it'll happen against this Bucks team that can shut you down as well as make it rain on you. And with no one having any answers for Giannis for this one, it's just not going to be easy. Vooch can try, but he's been inconsistent, and he had a pretty quiet first half against the Raptors last night. And I can also see the fatigue kind of setting in from then to tonight, which I don't think it should because this game should matter for a lot more than what it's really riding on tonight. But just because of that factor, I think the Bucks are a better team here, and they should be getting in their form to defend their NBA title pretty much in 3 weeks now. So I'm going to ride with the Bucks. The Bucks. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to lay the points here. I think the Bucks are going to show up big. Giannis being there is going to make all the difference in the world. I don't trust the Chicago Bulls team. That stat says everything. 0-15 is going to turn to 0-16 tonight. They have not looked good against good competition, and their defense has been shaky all season long, where it ranks 20th in rating and 22nd in effective field goal percentage. I don't like the fatigue factor as well coming in on the second night of a back-to-back. They were exhausted yesterday playing a great game against the Raptors. You got to think where their defense is going to stand in this one. I like the Bucks. I think Middleton's going to have his. I think Giannis is going to be too much to handle. The Bucks are going to be at home. And this is a Bucks team that they've been filling it up against good teams lately. They're starting to turn it up a notch against their opposition, victories over Phoenix and Miami. So this is where the Bucks start to shine with the postseason coming up. Like you said, they're going to be looking to defend their crown, as not too many people are talking about the Bucks as defending champs. So they're going to look to make a bit of a statement here in a showcase game, once again, putting the Bulls out of their misery. And I would not be surprised if tonight is yet another blowout loss for the Bulls against the top team in the East.
I would hate to be that person who has to tell DeMar that there's some narratives flying around again today. But yeah, this is where they have to show up. They have to kill those discussions and those discourses. And unfortunately, it's against the Bucks, who are the defending champions and who are the best team, one of the best teams in the league right now. But we have the last game for tonight, just the 4-game slate tonight. Obviously, tomorrow means we're going to get like 30 games. So someone's got to have a talk with the scheduler in the NBA. But for the last game of tonight, we've got the Clippers and the Nuggets, where the Nuggets are favored by -6.5. Luca, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think it's too large of a spread for the Nuggets. I'm going the other way. I'm going to go with the Clippers here. The Nuggets just rely too much on Jokic. I think it's starting to catch up to them, and it's crazy because they're in a battle right now to try to keep that 6th spot. It seems like it's changing every day, where the Timberwolves are leapfrogging them, and then with a loss, they go back. But yeah, these games are going to mean a whole ton for the Nuggets because they want to play in that play-in, especially with an MVP candidate like Jokic. He actually had 49 points, though, in the last time these two teams met. But Zubac, look for him to be the X factor tonight. He had 32 points on 15 of 19 shooting in that battle against the reigning MVP. So he's going to do a lot of good things against Jokic. I mean, Zubac's really held his own, and I think he's going to be a big factor tonight. And also Reggie Jackson, look for him to get back on track here. He only had 7 points in the last game against the Jazz, but he scored 23 points in 3 of his previous 4 contests. So I think he's going to be the other X factor in this one where he could go off. So yeah, I like the Clippers. We've been talking about them all season long. And no win is easy against them. They're gritty. They're tough. They tire you out defensively. I think they will zero in on Jokic here, and this will be a close game. So give me the Clippers plus 6.5. Are you there?
I'm back, I think. Yeah, I'm here now. All
yeah,
right.
okay. We lost Nor momentarily. I don't know if you heard all of that, but
I did.
Clippers plus 6.5.
Whenever I go out, I can still hear you. Trust me. It's just
Okay.
I'm just creeping on you. That's it. But yeah, we're gonna end this tonight's slate of games disagreeing on 3 of them. Because
Wow.
while I do agree with you, I think the Clippers are just that team that you really cannot bet against, especially with the Nuggets looking like how they are right now. Clippers are also on a 3-game losing streak, though. Nuggets have lost their last 2, but they both lost to good teams. They've been losing to the guys like Cavs, Jazz, and Raptors. So they are losses, but they're almost respectable losses. And Nuggets currently are clearly the better team on paper because we all know who the Clippers are missing. But you mentioned it. Zubac, as well as Clippers defense, I think can make it somewhat competitive with this Nuggets team. And this is why I struggle with this spread, because I think that Clippers are just so gritty. They're so they can come and pretty much just steal the show from you whenever they want to. And with that, they might not even have to win, but they could still make it a close game. But that's also why I think I gotta just go with the team that's going to give you more offense here. Clippers are just not that team. It's got to be the Nuggets for me. They have been on a bit of a dry spell right now, but I think they'll realize that this is a must-win game for them. They got to go back to their old winning basketball ways to go into this playoff run. And Jokic has to start making headlines as MVP again, because they keep having that battle between Embiid and Jokic where one comes up over the other every other day. But I think you have 10, 12 games now remaining. It's the time to create the narrative for yourself and get back in that rhythm of being that back-to-back MVP candidate. So even though it is a big spread, Clippers are a very gritty team. I'm just going to go with the better team here and hope that Jokic just does Jokic things tonight. So give me the Nuggets, and we'll see who has the better spread tomorrow, because one of us is going to be sleeping good tonight.
Yeah, this is the first time ever, I think, we've disagreed on so many picks. So yeah, 3 of the 4 games, we are against each other, and we will see who wins this head-to-head. The only game Nor and I agree on, Milwaukee -7. So maybe that's the bet you feel most comfortable on if you do listen to our expert analysis. That will conclude another edition of 3-Point Lines here on the Parlay. As always, thank you so much for watching. You can get this podcast wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can follow us across all social media platforms. We live stream every single day around 3 p.m. Eastern time, where Nor and I break down every single game in the NBA and give you our picks against the spread. No other show's doing that. We got you covered. We're trying to make you some money, and we will see how our picks do tonight. But we will be back at it again tomorrow, and we will see you then. This is 3-Point Lines here on the Parlay. Take care, everyone.